So anything you say will be saved on the recording.
Yeah, nothing to hide.
Yeah. Okay, so on my screen that you can see, I have the editor on the left, and then I have the code on the right. Um, and I'm looking at the grid right now, and I'm gonna go through this code a little bit, so so that we're all on the same page and we understand what's going on. And if you have questions, just let me know. Um, so this is the constructor, and it's just setting things up. I don't. The only thing I added was whose turn
So
it is. Okay, that's the only thing
if
I've changed in the grid so far.
you declared that in the H header file,
Yes. So if we go over here, um, where did I stick it? Right here. So I just added that boolean in there. Okay. Um, and then everything else in this should be the same. I didn't change anything in the constructor. In the gameplay or the begin play, this is where it constructs all those boxes for us. Um,
yeah, I got that.
big
And
loop, yeah.
um,
Um, so here's the new block, and then all it does is that it sets the block to know that who's his parent is. Okay.
who's a parent? No.
Yeah. So block grid is like the parent of the grid of those blocks.
Oh, right.
Okay. That's how the blocks are able to do add score, or in this case, I made a new method called check for winner. And so what I do there is that's where I flip my is it player one's turn, and then I actually update the score text to state which player is playing.
Score hmm,
Okay, so I just copied this method and I renamed it, and instead of incrementing a score, I just flipped the value. Okay, so if I run it real quick, here it is. This is player one, and then you click, it turns yellow. It says player two. You click, it turns red. Right.
uh,
So I believe that's where everybody's at.
isn't that um check for winner? You're basically just swapping between player one, player two. So,
That's all it's doing right now.
but that's not really a check for winner kind of function, or is it?
No, no, we're not done with it yet.
Right.
Right. And so this is as far as I've gotten, and I haven't done the check winner thing because, like you, I ran into issues because I code a certain way and it's not matching up to how this project was set up.
Should we have
So
been using score as a reference? Saying if the score is an even number, then it's player two's turn.
Yeah, that's why I attempted to do, and I ran into trouble, so I kind of had to make a certain workaround involving the bool.
yeah, there's 101 ways of doing this. You could have done that by using the score. It's up to you. I just went this route to just flip that value back and forth. Okay. Um, but if I go look at my block code, um, so for the most part, it looks about the same, except I've added red and yellow material here. Um, I've added red and yellow here. Now, from the book, my code's different, probably because I'm using a newer version of the engine. Um, they the book had this code actually in here, but this project's been updated so that it would work on Windows or a mobile device of some kind that has a touch screen. That's where this on finger press block comes from. And so what they did was they pulled all that code out into its own function and then called it from the two different places. Um, And so you got to remember that this block only knows about itself and the grid parent. And so if the block hasn't been activated, then we say, then it runs this code. What I Another variable I added was,
Is owned by player one.
yeah,
Is that a
and
is
all
that a
I
bool?
and that is a bool, yes. You can see there it's a boolean, and I just get that value from is it player's one turn, right? And then that's where the yellow and red come in, and then here's where we call that check for winner. So we so the issue here is the blocks know about the grid, but the grid doesn't know anything about the blocks. And so there's no way of, yeah, um so we can do this one of two ways. We can make a reference, so we can, yeah, we could try to do it like you guys were doing and
Score.
keep a reference to all those blocks. Or what we could do is um, check for winner. So I'm going to do it this way. New block is not null. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to the grid is not going to know anything about the blocks. I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to go a different route. So what I want to do is I want to say here block number equals block index. Okay, so I'm going to store that index here value into each of the blocks. And since this does not exist, I'm going to try this. Boo. Okay. So we need to create this variable over in our block H file. Okay. Now it's gone.
This block index an integer.
Do what?
Block index is an integer.
Yes.
An int 32.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. And then I'm going to update check for winner, and I'm going to say I need to pass in an integer. We're going to call block number, and then I got to fix the header for that. And then we got to come over here to the block, and so when we check for winner, we're going to send in block number. Okay. And then if we come back to the grid, so that's it. We're done with the block. Block has done all its work. So now all we have to do is work in here. And so I'm going to make this simple. I'm going to go to the grid H, and where's my other variables? Okay, so we need an array. So how do I do an array? This is a quiz for you guys. How should I type this? If I want an array of
Ints, brackets,
And then you fill in the array.
And
Okay,
array name.
so um,
So
we'll call it TTT board. That sound good?
Yep.
And then we are going to initialize it here. Why am I not getting it? What's wrong with it?
In the brackets, it says expected in an identifier.
Right. Okay. Oh, I think we got it backwards. Right.
or
Hmm. There we go. It requires a value there. Interesting. Let's try that real quick. Yeah, it doesn't like that. Anyways, we'll hard code it in for now, and then we'll go from there. Because we know it's going to be hard coded. Sorry. Whoops. Alright, so we're just going to initialize it. That's what we're going to do here, along with the rest of the stuff. And then what we're going to do down here is we're going to say board block number equals 1. And then all I need to do now is I need to test to see if there's a winner. Oh, let me take that back. Here, I'm going to move this up. And I'm going to do this. Is player 1 turn 1 or 2? Okay. So if it is player 1, we're going to store 1 there. And if it's not player 1, then we're going to store 2 there. So that's what that does. I'm going to move this to... leave that there for now. So now we're going to test to see if there's a winner. And so I'm just going to go through the different board pieces and see what I need to do. So I'm going to test 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to test 4, 5, and 6. Do you see where I'm going with this? And test 7, 8, and 9 for a winner. And then I'm going to test for 1, 4, 7. Test for 2, 5, 8. Test 3, 6, 9. And then I want to test for 1, 5, 9, and then test for 3, 5, 7. And so that's all the combinations of numbers to test for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that so? Do you guys like that idea? Do you like where I went with that?
Yeah, I think that'll work.
Say it again.
I said I think that'll work.
All right. And so yeah, it's gonna be a lot of if statements in this statement here.
Yeah.
Um,
Quick question. Where'd you get block number from? Because I put it in and it's giving me an error. It says undefined.
put it in the header file. So
Uh, I think I must have missed it.
okay, so I went to block header, and there's block number.
Oh, there it is. All right. We're good.
Okay. Any questions?
Mm, um,
Concerns?
one sec. I'm looking at my code.
Okay.
So for the so testing for each possible win condition,
Yeah.
like I did it this way for the 3x3, and like that's manageable. But then we're gonna do 5x5, right? And I imagine that'll be
Well, just
a headache, I guess, unless you create some sort of way to test. I don't know. So now you're not doing each one individually.
Right. So I mean, my hint would be look at size,
Okay.
and so you'd have to adjust it by using size.
Okay.
Because right now it's the application is very dynamic in the sense that um, it didn't hard code in that it was a 9 brick setup.
Well,
It was a size, right?
yeah.
And so if we're going to do 5x5 or any number for that matter, um, you just here's where it's initialized.
Yeah. What I'm talking about is, so when we're testing for the victory conditions, like right now there's only 8.
Yeah.
When we do 5x5, there's going to be a lot more.
Is it still 3 across to win, or is it 5 across to win?
It's still 3. It's 3 across.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you'd have to do you could do it with for loops.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but once you get this first one down, then the for loop will just use what you've kind of already done here.
Okay.
It just moves it across the board.
Quick question. At the bottom where it says score FMT, comma player, like, could you scroll a little bit to the right to see what I'm supposed to put in for the value there? Oh, okay. It's just that. All right, I
Yeah.
got it. I just wasn't sure if I was missing something.
Yeah. No, yeah. So I mean, like I said, this is the way I did it. It doesn't have to be the way that you do it. You're more than so. Let me get on my soapbox here real quick because I had an issue in my other class. I'm okay with you guys kind of working together, but you guys need to do your own work. So what happened in my other class, out of 15 people, half the people turned in the exact same file which they Googled and searched for and found online. And it wasn't even a complete assignment. They just found this file and just submitted it in their project. And so I was not happy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, but for the students that did do the project, um, almost every single one of their code did it totally different. And so, so that yeah, that's my 2 cents to you. Is I'm okay with you guys working together, um, but you need to do your own work, and then um, my son's bothering me, so I totally lost track of what I was trying to say.
And that's fine, we get it. Like, don't just copy off other people's work. Like, you
Yeah,
can help each other if we reach a dead end, but don't just straight up give code.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And
And I
then
can respect that.
yeah, and then everybody does it differently. So, like I said, I'd use a boolean here, but that was me for the whose turn it is. You could have used an integer.
Right.
Um, I would probably go back and take out score because I'm not using that in this project.
Because what I initially tried to do is, like, determining player turn is have a sort of counter and make it based off of if it's odd, then it's player two's turn, but if it's even, it's player one's turn.
Yeah.
But that didn't end up working out, so right now I'm trying it with a bool.
Yeah. All right.
Mm,
Okay. Any other questions?
um,
Right now I'm just seeing if I can get it to alternate between the two players so they can ask their questions before I get to this.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna stop the recording here, and then if you guys still have questions, we can stay on the line and we'll do that. For everybody else who's watching this after the fact, you can always email me or post a message underneath the video on the forums. All right. Talk to everybody later. Bye.
Yeah.